5 lines through there. Funny, this big table coming up. Oh, that's nice, man. Stay there.
Hey guys, thanks for checking out another video. So this one was fun to do, and you can see the times up there. Yamaha was faster in all but the very last lap, which actually had identical lap times. I would put that to fatigue, you know, doing 6 laps on the motocross track for me. Still not super comfortable. Remember, I don't ride moto a ton, so still working on loosening up my grip. I get arm pump riding moto. But anyway, on to the comparison. Wasn't a big surprise that the YZ was faster, but a couple of highlights. The KTM, we'll start there, had great power. It actually made the YZ feel slow. When I hopped on the YZ, I was like, man, I felt like I was wringing its neck. The KTM's power, really smooth. Unlike traditional two-strokes where you have that power band hit, it really doesn't have a hard hit. It's really just linear power for a two-stroke, okay? Suspension was great. I didn't even bottom it, and I kept apples to apples again. These things right out of the box. I didn't go stiffer on the KTM for this test. I left it the way it is. And I know testing cross-country versus motocross, but that's kind of the point of it. I just wanted to see if it could, you know, do both disciplines. So the suspension felt good. Just would, if I was going to ride a lot of moto, I'd probably just stiffen it up a bit. What else? So surprised the lap times weren't that far apart. it felt like I was going much quicker on the YZ, where if you looked back, that third lap, they were actually identical lap times. So overall, pretty impressed with the KTM. Now for the negatives on the KTM, it's definitely not as tractable. Not surprised there, right, as a 4-stroke. It's, again, common complaint for me. Didn't feel as planted in the corners. So that was kind of costing me some confidence. Felt a little nervous in the air in comparison to the 4-stroke. And yeah, overall, my confidence just wasn't as high. I wouldn't want to race, the KTM in a moto race. Definitely would choose the 4-stroke for that. So moving on to the YZ, my thoughts on that. Confidence. I mean, I feel so confident at my level on this bike. The coming off lips and everything like that, you could almost be a little lazy. Doesn't make that big of a difference. Coming off of a lip on a 2-stroke, just I feel like a hair more throttle. The front end's going a little high, or I don't know. It just doesn't feel as good all around, in the jumps. YZ suspension is great. Actually, that day I rode an aftermarket suspension. I felt like those KYBs did really well, even in comparison to a setup suspension. And my buddy who rode my YZ actually said he thinks the YZ suspension's better than his. So interesting. I won't say the name of the suspension company, but turned faster laps later in the day on the YZ as well. So what you're seeing on this video is actually some of my slower laps, because I haven't ridden moto in a while. That's all. So the corners really were where I felt like I gained the most time later in the day on the YZ, that confidence. Only thing negative about the YZ, I was left wanting more power out of it. It felt slow in comparison to the KTM. And yeah, that's about it really. So if you have any questions, let me know. I don't know what the next test I'll do with these two bikes, if any. Maybe I'll just have some racing footage with the YZ, but I doubt it. I really want to finish the year off on the KTM, doing well on the KTM. So that's about it. I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for watching.